Roxy Romeo with a special guest in the studio. So it is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. And I met this soul, this amazing, beam of light on social media. And now it's developed into a whole real life friendship. Nicole Figueroa, AKA Coley.
Yep.
She is the founder of Survivor Warrior, a domestic violence organization geared towards exactly that, helping people, inform them, help them, give them resources. So obviously, I mean, Coley, you have been open about your situation.
Yes.
So if you can you just speak a little bit about what brought you to wanting to start this organization?
So as you mentioned, I was in a horrible relationship for quite a lot of years. It was almost 10 years, actually, a full decade. And when I finally got out of it, I realized I need help, right? I need to turn somewhere. I need to fix this. I'm left with 2 children, no money, no anything. How do I get the help? And yeah, there were resources like shelter and food banks, but I was still hurting. I would go get my resources and I would provide for my children in tangible form. But when I went and put my head down at night, I was still hurting. So I had to figure out, what do I need? And then when I started looking for resources, I was like, I can't find what I need. These people don't sound like me. This doesn't look like me. And I said, you know what? Let's be the change that we need. Let's create programs that I could have used when I was getting out. So it started with, it started with programs for women, right? And then as we went further and further into the programs and we started speaking more to the survivors, we realized that we have to go younger. We have to dig down. We have to get the children. We have to get to their heads and realize that the mindset is what it is, right? So abuse doesn't happen when you turn 21. An abuser doesn't become an abuser just as an adult. These are things that they're seeing, they're hearing through their childhood usually, or just in life, right? They don't know any different. So let's show them different. Let's give them different. So Survivor Warrior was founded in hopes of giving the youth and survivors resources, both tangible and not, education, and all the tools that they need to stack up their toolbox. So when, if God forbid, they're in an abusive relationship, and again, guys, relationships aren't just male, female, boyfriend and girlfriend, right? You have work relationships. There's abuse at work, right? People taking financial abuse, right? There are relationships all over. Friends. Have you ever gotten, or how about, well, let's start reel back a little bit. When you're in kindergarten and a boy hits a girl, oh, he likes you. That just means he likes you. No, I don't want nobody hitting my daughter because they like her, right? So what do we teach? Now, and I got to teach boys, there are other ways to communicate. I want to be your friend. You don't have to pull my hair. So I started there. I went younger. I got to the kids. We started programs. Super grateful for all the help that I have received from Philadelphia. Our first program was She's Got Spark. We got an auto mechanic place out in Philly, got the kids going, and the whole point was, if we can get young girls to learn how to maintain their vehicles, if in the case they are ever on the side of the road and in a situation where their significant other isn't good to them or they are abusive, like myself, I've been side of the road. You know what he told me? Figure it out. Had a flat tire and a baby in the back. Figure it out. Guess what? These girls that just graduated our course, they know how to change tires. They know how to change oil. They know how to read their dash. They're going to be able to figure it out in case, God forbid, or if they're in that situation. So that's really what I wanted to do. Just give the kids what they need to be financially independent, emotionally intelligent, and just rounded soundly, right? Like healthy. And it's not a perfection thing. We're not saying we're going to make everybody wind up being a perfect adult. We're just giving them the tools so they now have that in their mind. They've been exposed to something other than what they're seeing all their lives.
Right.
And that's really what it stemmed from. We are working with Car Smash, Rage Philly. I'm sure you've heard the Rage Room where you break things.
Yeah.
So we actually, I did a segment with her, Kia. Thank you, Kia. Shout out to Kia. We did a segment with her, and she actually opened us up to a domestic violence car smash on November 13th. So I've selected 12 survivors from Philadelphia. We're going to go out and beat on a car. And we're going to release all that rage, right? Because that's a part of healing. We got to release. We have to, before we could heal, we got to get it out. There's so much deep within us that we're hurting from that we have to get it out. And that's a really good form of releasing it all.
Okay.
So it's things like that, partnering with small businesses in Philly, just showing people there are ways to heal. There are other ways. You don't have to internalize. You don't have to be yourself. Come with the 12 of us. We're going to go do something to heal. You know, let me show you something. And that's really where it stemmed from, just giving people those resources.
So moving back a little bit. So how did you get out of your situation?
So I didn't get out. I was forced out. I think that if it didn't happen the way it happened, I'd probably still be trying to keep the peace, right? Because that's what we do. We keep the peace. He came in and attacked me. It was New Year's Eve 2019. He knocked on my door because I was done with him. We had already separated. He moved into a room in Philly. I was living in the county. And I guess he got wind that I wasn't messing with him anymore. I didn't want to talk to him. There was nothing to really be cordial about. You want to talk to the kids? Talk to the kids. Cool. Once he got wind of that, he rang my doorbell one day, came over, played with the kids for about 5 minutes, asked me if we can go to the bathroom to have a conversation about how we're going to deal with the kids for the next year. I didn't want to have the conversation. Everything in me told me not to have the conversation. But again, this is the father of my children. He wants to speak about the children. Okay, cool. We get in the bathroom. He locks the door, shuts the light, and tases me with a taser. So after that, we fought. We went back and forth in the bathroom. And the whole point was he wanted my phone. He wanted to know who I was dealing with because in his mind, if he couldn't have me, nobody could have me. So we went back and forth. I dug my eye, mid-attack, I dug my fingernails right through his eyeballs. It threw him off. He fell in the bathtub. I opened the door. I ran out, shoved my children to the wall, ran to the hallway where the neighbors were, and I just created a scene so that somebody could come out and save me. And thank God my neighbor did come out. And that was it. He was arrested. COVID happened a few months later. He was probationed out to New York City, where we're from. And that was it. I was out because legally I could no longer deal with this person. And I had 2 children watching post this attack. So, that was like probably the worst experience in my life as far as putting me in a place mentally where I felt so less than. But almost 6 years later, I am so grateful to God because if that horrible, horrendous experience didn't take place, there would have been so many countless others.
Right.
And who knows? You know what I mean? Like this is when it becomes fatal because you keep going back. So now he tased me. And what if I would have took him back after that?
Right.
Now he knows, okay, tasing isn't going to get her. What's next?
Right.
And it just gets worse and worse and worse until he gets me. So this is going to sound crazy, but I'm so grateful he did that to me and I was able to be done for good.
And that was the first time that something happened in front of your kids?
Yeah. So he was physically abusing me. Well, it started, like you said, with mental, financial, all of that stuff. But then he started physically abusing me. Then I had children and he scaled back a little bit, right? Because I guess he wanted to put up the persona of I'm not an abuser. I'm not abusive. But the mental didn't stop. The language didn't stop. At this point now, he was the breadwinner because I had babies. So I was at home, single mom, like trying everything in my power to be the perfect girlfriend and mother. So I had no funding. I had no money. I had nothing. Everything was he was giving me $25 a week for Pampers for 2 children. No, I'm lying. He was giving me a $25 Walmart gift card that his job would give him weekly. That's what he thought of our 2 children and myself.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just thankful. I'm so grateful that I'm not in that. I talk these stories up and I'm like, wow, I can't believe I was actually sitting there accepting $25 a week. You know what I mean? And I don't know how else to say it because I know it sounds so backwards, but I'm really, really grateful that it was so drastic and so dramatic and involving the police and involving the neighbors, because then it's like, how can I bring this man back in my house? And I just knocked on every neighbor's door. It took something that big. And I'm so grateful that it did. And I'm so grateful that he's far and I'm able to raise my kids and I was able to heal. Healing and raising babies, not easy.
Yeah.
And those are 1-year-old and 3-year-old at the time.
How are your daughters now after this?
I speak with my 3-year-old. So like I was telling you earlier, my 3-year-old's question is, where is he? She remembers him. She knows his name. She remembers mannerisms, conversations, things he had or gifted her. Whereas my 1-year-old's conversation is, who is he? She doesn't remember him. She'll see a picture maybe from back in the day, but she just has no clue who he is, how he was around her. And I try to be real. You could only be real. And I've learned that if you try to sugarcoat it, I'm never the type to tell them, oh, he loves you. He's just not here. I've never said that. Because I never want them to associate neglect and abandonment with love.
Right.
Because then what happens if, God forbid, they're in a relationship as they get older and their significant other starts abandoning them?
Right.
I would never want them to long for them so much that they're calling them nonstop, texting them nonstop, and then being ignored because those are the early signs of abuse. So I try to keep it very real with them on an age-appropriate level. We have our moments, right? So without getting too personal on my daughter, the other day we were cleaning up the closet, and one of the baby dolls, it was a $25 Walmart gift card, right? So I went to Walmart. We went together, actually, and we got a doll, like a little baby doll. And I guess over the years, I just threw it in the closet at some point. Well, we were cleaning the closet and it came out and she recognized it immediately.
Wow.
Her first thought was, that's daddy's doll, I remember. And I let her take it. Like, I didn't get upset. I try not to project any of the abuse on her, right? So whereas I wanted to fling it in the trash, I would never do that to her. So I let her play with it and I just watched her a little bit. And she just got so sad. And in my mind, I'm like, I could only imagine what her thoughts are right now. Like playing with the doll, like, where is he? Where is he? You know, like now I see the doll, now I'm playing with the doll. Like she's probably her memory's being triggered now. So I spoke with her and that was a really sad conversation. And it's more sad because I can't speak for him and I won't lie for him. So it breaks her heart when she asks me, well, does he love me? And I tell her, I can't speak for him. I can't tell you that. I would never say he doesn't love you. I'm not going to say he hates you, but I'm not going to tell you that that's love either. Like, I'm not going to say out of my mouth, yes, he loves you. He's just in a bad, no, that's not love. So I just kind of keep it real with them. And what came of that situation was I took her outside. We went for a walk because I'm big on like, let's get out in nature. Let's go walk. Let's go like take some fresh air. Let's do something healthy. And we talked. And I told her, tell me what you're feeling. And she did. And we got over, she got over the initial sadness. Like I saw like I said, when I was watching her, I could see her whole mood change, her face change. And I think she just became to a point where my questions are answered. Like I don't have anything else to be sad. Like I may not like the answer, but I don't have any other questions because they're all answered. And I find that when I'm very honest with them, they receive it. They receive it. And they'll sometimes, like my little one, because she doesn't know him or remember him, she'll go on. Like she'll have a question for every answer. And that used to trigger me. Like I had to really speak with my life coach like in a full hour-long conversation about that alone. My little one will trigger me because she doesn't remember him. She keeps asking. She keeps digging. And he had to really explain it to me. She's asking because she doesn't know.
Right.
She doesn't know you're triggered. She's 5 at the time. So I just learned to like let them express themselves. And I can't say they're perfect. I can't say, they're always good. They're always happy. So when you say like, how are they now? They're good. They're getting through it. They're learning. And although these conversations, I can see it breaks their heart like a very, every time it chips away at them a little bit. But I've come to the realization that if I don't chip away with the truth, they're going to grow up and look for the truth. And that will hurt them way more in a grand scope of things versus me just,
being honest. Yeah.
Being honest and breaking it to them. They can process it. It's going to take a little time, But imagine them growing up 16, social media, just typing his name in, finding him, reaching out to him, and then he unloads all that trauma on them. And they have no conversation with me because mommy was so hurt she wouldn't talk to us about him. That will break them so much more at that age when they're impressionable, when there are other friends that are healing in different methods. I would never want them to look somewhere else to heal. I want them to understand like we are peace at home. We can heal at home. We have resources now. So I think my kids are okay. I pray they're okay.
And so you were just talking about your life coach.
Yes.
So after everything ended, how long did it take for you to get to a point of strength and empowerment and not feeling, I guess, broken anymore?
Yeah. I think the moment I realized I wasn't broken, I was just a little bent out of shape, was after speaking to my life coach. So this started when he got arrested. We lived in Delaware County at the time. And there's a domestic abuse project, DAP, out in media. And they immediately helped me because we went through, legal systems. Because he was arrested, they were, I guess, contacted. That's how it works in the county. They reached out to me and they said, look, we see that you're having this case. We want to help you. We want to give you resources. I love therapy. I suggest therapy for everybody, but it was more of a stepping stone for me, right? I was finding myself releasing and telling my story, but I wasn't feeling better still, right? So I was just trauma dumping. I was venting a lot. I was getting it out. I was crying. And where that is necessary, I didn't see kind of like a fix. And it wasn't until I got with my life coach, and he ultimately is my accountability partner. And through accountability, I realized I'm not broken. I'm bent out of shape. But when you're bent out of shape, you could bend yourself back. And that's what it was. Like I had to take accountability and I had to realize that I'm not to blame.
So do you have the belief that nobody's broken?
Yes, I do. I think that in the moment we all feel so broken because it's hard to get out of bed. it's hard to open your eyes some
Mm-hmm.
morning. And in my head, I'm like, how is this not broken? I can't even get out of bed to drink my coffee. This feels
Mm-hmm.
broken.
Mm-hmm.
But the more work you do, the more you heal, everybody has the opportunity to heal. It just requires a lot of intentional work.
Mm-hmm.
And there's awareness is the first step, right? You're aware there's an issue. We have to heal from it. But how are we going to heal from it? And as the more intentional you are about healing, the more you realize, okay, we could bend it back. We could bend it back. We're going to bend it back. It's not
I
just
love
crack
that.
down the middle. And that, again, that's another part of my organization. That's where it stems from. How do we give children the tools to realize we're not broken, right? We can bend back. Let's learn healthy ways to bend ourselves
Mm-hmm.
back into shape.
And, we had a very, very sad case in our area that made national headlines, the murder of Kata Scott, 23-year-old, young lady who went missing. And sadly, it ended up being an even more tragic story because when they found her body, she was dead in the back of a Germantown school and she was shot and killed, shot
Yep.
in the head. So her perpetrator is in custody, a man named Keon King. But I know that
I wouldn't
this
say man rocks.
person,
Yeah,
monster,
yeah.
you
I would
know?
say an abuser named Keon King.
Okay. But I know that this was a story that was near to
Yeah.
your heart, and you just recently had an event to honor Kata Scott.
Yes.
So talk about that.
So Sunday Carter and I, we before this situation had arose, we wanted to celebrate our survivors and honor our victims because there are countless victims, just not even in Philadelphia, across
Right.
the country, across the world.
Mhm.
We wanted to do something really special, so we put together a walk. Right, met at the art. We had a plan. We're gonna meet at the art museum. We're gonna walk across the water. It's beautiful. It's healing. We walk. So that was our goal. And then the unfortunate passing of Kata during the month of October, we just knew we had to honor her. Like we knew it had to be big, it had to be grand, it had to be something for the city of Philadelphia because everywhere you turned, you hear the story, and everywhere you turn, the response is just pain. Everybody's in pain behind this.
Right.
Philly is hurting. Philly is crying out loud. So we just wanted to offer Philly like an environment where you can be angry, you can be sad, you can be happy, you can heal, you can feel all the feels, and we can honor her. And we did just that. We got in contact with her family. They were there. It was just such a special moment for us because just for a moment, like just for that one moment while we watched the balloons release, we sat there, we held hands, we cried, it was just like, okay, this is happening, right? We're talking about it. It's gonna eventually change, and this is how we start that. So I'm so grateful that Kata's family, they accepted us. They were so willing to just like understand that we wanted nothing else but to just honor her. Like we wanted her family and the city of Philadelphia to understand like there's nothing else we can do but honor her. And if we can do it as loud as possible, let's do that. And where else better than the art museum steps, right? Like that's just where it should be. So yeah, I'm really grateful to Sunday. Thank you, Sunday, for inviting me to collab with you with that. We had it was so beautiful. I think you've seen the video. Yeah, you've seen the video.
Yes, the video was absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, and it was just really fulfilling for me, right? Because we know so many victims that don't make it. They don't get a balloon release, right? Like, and it was like, okay, we can do that for them. We can do that for her, and then we can also change the trajectory, right? So
Right.
now we're planning to not have as many balloon releases because now we're going to speak out loud. We're going to use our voices. We're going to let people know they are us, we are them, and we got you. So that was really the whole gist and the plan of it.
And I wanted to ask you your opinion. So over the last few years, there's been a lot of cases involving celebrities that have made a lot of headlines from, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Diddy. And I sit there on social media and I look at the comments, and it tends to be like split down the middle, right? You have one side that, they're very compassionate, they have a lot of empathy for the victims. And then you have the other side that they're victim shaming. Why didn't they leave? Why are they still there? Why did it take them so long? So, how do you feel when you see these cases and those types of opinions?
Currently, I don't feel as I used to feel. So I used to be super affected in a very negative way, right? It used to just set me off. It used to trigger me. It was a trigger for me because for so long, that's what they were telling me. Like, why didn't you just leave? Or he would say that. My abuser would say that. If I'm so bad, why are you still here? So it was like, oh, okay, that's the mindset. But now, since doing my healing work, hard work, I've realized most of those people couldn't understand because they've never experienced it directly or indirectly, right? And what I would tell everybody, leaving an abusive relationship is the scariest and most dangerous time to leave. Because the minute you decide you're going to leave and you make that step out, like me, I was done. He knew I was done. He could feel that I was done. He knew I no longer wanted to have conversations about the kids, so he came and attacked me, right? And I was on Facebook, and I was speaking to this woman through our organization, and we were talking about, why don't you just leave? This was the topic. We, as survivors, we kind of try to ask ourselves questions like what other people, like you said, what other viewers are asking in the comments. And I try to get their feel for it so I can kind of guide them where they are on their healing journey. And this one lady shared her story, which is horrific. She was with her abuser for so long, and she tried to leave, and she tried to leave, and she always came back because, you know, they say sorry, and you try to fix it, and you want it to feel good at the good that it felt at one point, because it's not all bad. Abusive relationships usually start off really love bomby, right? It's very much, they love you so much they're gonna love you till the end, and then you want to feel that still. So you're trying to get back with them. You're trying to get back with them. Anyway, she got back with him a few times. The time she finally decided to leave, he unalived her older daughter, which wasn't even his child.
Oh my God.
So when people say, why don't you just leave? It's like, think about that. Think about how scary that is for somebody. Now think about somebody else who's in her realm, right? Or in her family or close friends or just knows her from somewhere, and they too are in an abusive relationship. Do you think now they're going to feel safe leaving? They just saw their friend or their family member leave because that's what everybody says do, just leave. And that was the result of it. So it's not as simple as just leave, right? You have to come up with a plan. Sometimes you have no room to plan or no time to plan. You have to just be out. But if possible, a safety plan. You have to have support. Support is a really big thing, whether it be close support or just like, you know, kind of further away on a group of domestic violence on Facebook, something, support. You need support. But yeah, I've learned that when I read the comments, I could basically tell who's been through it, who hasn't been through it. But even with reading the comments, when I started to realize everybody just thinks, well, why don't you leave? You're accountable. And then I realized, why didn't I leave, right? Okay, so why didn't I leave? Because I didn't know accountability. I didn't know I can't fix him. I didn't know what a red flag was. I didn't know what a love bomb was. I didn't know gaslighting. I didn't know these terms. And that's, again, where the organization comes from. We're going to teach these terms, right? We're going to teach what a red flag is.
I and you know, in regards to like the Diddy case, right? There are people that feel like, well, you know what? Cassie went through what she went through, but she got $20 million. So, you know, she's good.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't have anything to complain about.
Yeah, no. The payout is due to her, right? Because that's, if it was any other situation, right? And it was like, what do they call it when they say we're suing for defamation or we're suing for pain and suffering, right? Why is it okay to sue for that then? Is this not the same situation? Like, should she not be? She suffered. She was abused. We watched it. We all, as a nation, we viewed that on television.
Yeah.
Right? That has nothing to do with holding him accountable.
Right.
And that's what people have to understand. Just because I got a payout doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt, doesn't mean that it didn't happen, doesn't mean that we could just erase it. Right. He is to be accountable for his actions, period. I also hear people say, oh, well, she was part of it too. Well, if everybody knew what I did when I was in that relationship, you'd probably all like do away with me too. But the truth is, when you're in it, you're not functioning. You're not thinking properly because you don't understand that those are bad things he's doing. Think your own independent thoughts. Do your own independent things. And again, my organization teaches that.
Right.
When you see somebody going and you're with somebody and you're noticing like they're starting to do, for instance, I'll give you an example. And this is a pretty personal story and I don't mind sharing it. When I got with him, he has children prior to me. And he was talking about getting to his previous children's mother, right? And he wanted to get to her and he wanted her to hurt, but he wanted her to hurt because in his mind, she took the kid away. I've come to find out she was protecting the kid just like I have to, right? I was really down to go with him and help him figure out how to get to her.
Wow.
I couldn't even, shout out to Erica. I love you, Erica. That's now, I call her my baby mama, right? Like that's our joke because we lean on each other for our children. Our children only know each other and have a relationship since he left. He didn't allow our children to have a connection. And that's because he knew if her and I had a connection, all the truth was going to come out.
Right.
So I just it's very funny when it comes to like opinions of outsiders, and I've learned through my healing. I would never say, well, don't speak too loud because you could get it too. There's no bias, right? It doesn't discriminate. But I would never wish that on anybody. But I can just tell, like, some people just have no
idea.
no idea.
Yeah.
No, like, they can't even fathom it. So in their mind, just leave is the solution. And that's very telling to them.
Well, following you on social media and getting to know you, you are amazing. You are truly like this beam of light. And so I'm thankful for the transformation that you have gone through. And you continue to be, a beacon for so many people in this area. So your organization, Survivor Warrior.
Yes.
Where can people learn more about it? Where can they get information? Where can they help if you need volunteers?
Yes. So I'm currently on Instagram mostly. We're building a website right now, but as of right now, I can be contacted on Instagram. It's Colie, COLIEE _taught, TAUGHT _me, MEE. That's basically where I put it all out there, man. I'm just trying,
I know.
power of social media. Eyes are watching, ears are listening, and I just put it all out there, As far as help, yeah, I need help. I'm a startup nonprofit, right? I'm in the very early stages, and I'm doing this all alone with 2 babies. The help that I need, aside from monetary, which, yes, guys, I do need monetary help too. If you're out there, you can Cash App the organization. It's $Survivor Warrior 2024. I need hands. Right? I need all walks of life's hands. I need small businesses' hands. I need volunteers that just want to come out and speak to other women as survivors' hands. I need good with kids' hands. Not everybody has these skill sets. So I need a couple of different hands. I need people that are willing to go out there and really, doing this work, it can be triggering. So I need people who are strong enough that know, because that's the work, that's what's going to be received, right? That's the children are going to get it when we can have a conversation very intensely, but softly. We're not affected in a way that they're like, oh my God, they're rattled up. So I need a very specific type of hands of help. Small businesses, I'm looking to collab with all of you in Philadelphia. I want to bring sets of, classes of girls, classes of women, young boys. We're looking to give tools, resources, education, and this is like well-rounded. We had auto mechanics. We have a nail class coming up, manicures. We have self-defense courses. We have across the board. It's just so many courses, and the whole goal is to just provide these children and women all the tools that they need to understand that they're not bent, they're not broken, they're just bent out of shape. We can get you back bent into shape, though.
I love it. Nicole Figueroa, a.k.a. Colie, thank you so much for stopping through. Survivor Warrior. One more time, what is that IG for people to contact you?
So it's a little long. Just stick with it. So it's Colie, COLIEE _TAUGHT _MEE. So it's Colie Taught Me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Rox. Thank you so much.